Hello everyone, welcome to Aristo's virtual learning series. In today's module, we are going to understand about human anatomy and physiology. First, let's understand the meaning of these two terms, anatomy and physiology. Anatomy, it is the study of structures of the human body and the relationship between them. Whereas physiology, it is the study of the function of the parts of the human body. With this module, we are going to understand more about anatomy and physiology of respiratory system. Whenever we talk about respiratory system, one can visualize the picture of lungs. Respiratory system is one of the vital organ system. Respiratory system is associated with the inhalation of oxygen and exhalation of carbon dioxide. Thus, respiratory system provides oxygen to each and every cell of the body and removes carbon dioxide from the cell. Structurally, respiratory system divided into two parts. One, upper respiratory tract, which includes nose and nasal cavity, then pharynx, and later on larynx. The second part is lower respiratory system, which includes trachea, which is also known as windpipe. Then trachea divides into bronchi and each bronchus enters in each lung. Further, bronchi divides to the bronchioles, and at the last this bronchioles enters into the structural and functional unit of respiratory system, that is alveoli. Let's understand briefly about the role of upper respiratory tract. As you all are aware, we inhale oxygen along with other atmospheric gases through our nose. Nose and nasal cavity are having various important roles. One of the important function of nose is that it has a sense of smell. It is responsible for filtration of the air with help of hairs and mucus available or present in nostrils. It is responsible for conditioning of inhaled air. Then this inhaled air travels through the air-filled spaces, which are known as sinuses. Sinuses helps to regulate the pressure in nasal cavity, has a role in drainage of the mucus through nasal cavity, and helps in heating and humidifying the inhaled air. There are total 4 pairs of sinuses are available. Then the inhaled air travels through the next part, which is pharynx. So pharynx is the common passage for both oral and nasal cavity, and it connects this oral and nasal cavity to larynx and esophagus. The next part is called as larynx. Larynx is also known as voice box, in which vocal cords are situated, and that's why it is also known as sound box. So larynx has two main functions. It connects pharynx to trachea and it is responsible for production of sound. Let's focus on lower respiratory tract. In lower respiratory tract, trachea divides further into primary bronchus, which enters into the respective lungs. Then primary bronchus is further divided to secondary bronchus, tertiary bronchus, and it further divides to the respiratory bronchus, which enters into the alveolar sac. It is also known as bronchial tree or the airway. Trachea is made up of 3 layers. The outer layer of trachea is made up of cartilage tissue, that is 20 C-shaped cartilage. Middle layer consists of smooth muscles, and the innermost layer is lined with ciliated epithelium. And as you all aware, alveoli is the functional unit of respiratory. Let's focus on the structure of airway. If you compare, cartilage which is available in trachea becomes irregular as you go down to primary bronchus and secondary bronchus, whereas the second layer of smooth muscles is quite thicker with bronchioles as compared to trachea. And trachea as well as bronchioles are lined with the specialized inner layer which is known as ciliated epithelial layer. Ciliated epithelial layer is a layer which is available with hair-like projections which are beating continuously in the sweeping position. Whereas there is a special presence of goblet cells which are responsible for the formation of the sticky material, sticky liquid which is known as mucus. So mucus along with cilia helps in the clearance of the airway, and that's why it is known as mucociliary transport. Up till now we have seen the various role of different parts of respiratory system. But what is the major function of respiratory system? So the major function of respiratory system is purification of blood through exchange of gas. Let's understand the correlation between respiratory system and circulatory system. As you all are aware, heart is the pumping organ which is responsible for the provision of oxygenated blood across body. So the oxygen from blood enters to the cell and cell gives the waste, that is carbon dioxide, to the blood, and then this deoxygenated blood, or which is rich in carbon dioxide whereas less oxygen is available, is delivered to heart again. Then heart pumps this blood with the help of pulmonary artery to the lungs for the purification of blood. In this, at capillary level, the blood gets purified, means oxygen is added to the blood and carbon dioxide is removed. Then this oxygenated or pure blood is again supplied to heart for further journey. So this exchange of gases between carbon dioxide and oxygen takes place at alveolar level. Actual exchange of gases between oxygen and carbon dioxide takes place at the alveolar level. Alveoli are situated into the close proximity of blood through capillary network. Let's magnify alveoli and understand the mechanism of exchange of gases. Exchange of gases happens by the diffusion process. So the carbon dioxide from deoxygenated blood moves to the lower concentration in alveoli, and oxygen from higher concentration from alveoli enters into the blood simultaneously, and thereby it increases the amount of oxygen in blood, and that's how the blood gets purified, and purified blood once again supplied to heart with the help of pulmonary vein. Thank you.